So my name is Andrew Lancel, and I played Corporal Tim Clark back in 1995. I think I was cast. I think I was offered the part, to be honest with you. I remember being quite excited about doing it because it was hugely popular at the time and really good. But also, I was going to be playing opposite one of my heroes, Peter Firth. When they said I was going to be Peter Firth's partner, boyfriend in the show, they made me laugh, and I just went, absolutely, I'll do that. And yeah, I think I was offered it. What I can tell you about my character is that this was 1995, and the episode was written by Chris Lang, which I'm sure we'll come to. And I was playing a character who was having an affair, was in a relationship with a senior officer played by Peter Firth. Now, in this day and age, 2023, you know, the laws have changed considerably, and the whole scenario of gay people in the army was a very, very different situation back then, hugely different. And so I believe it was the first time on mainstream television there'd been a storyline about gay people in the army. And so we weren't really aware of the impact that episode would have. But it came, when it was broadcast, laws were changing, and there was reactions from Stonewall, and we were in the papers, and we had no idea. I just did one episode. And a friend of mine called Edmund Hall, who was a writer and a campaigner who really should be honoured for the work he did, wrote a book called They Can't Even March Straight, and was a real kind of force in getting the law changed and the acceptance of gay people in the army. So this wonderful little episode that we did with this little storyline really kind of came out at an important time, and it was quite a surprise, and I was recently reminding Chris Lang about that whole impact of that episode. Chris Lang, I'll be honest with you, I didn't know Chris Lang had written that episode, or if I did, it was so long ago. It was before I met my wife, so I mean, it's over 25 years ago, 26, 27 years ago. And I've recently done 2 TV shows that have been written by Chris Lang. One, The Thief's Wife in the Canoe, and I joined the cast of Unforgotten in the last series. I firmly believe that Chris Lang is one of our greatest television writers, or one of the most important writers. And working for him again on Canoe and Unforgotten was an absolute joy, a real honour really, particularly with Unforgotten being our favourite programme in our house. Chris Lang, I'm currently doing a play in Hampstead Theatre where we are right now, and Chris Lang came just last week to see the play. And so when I contacted him to say thanks very much for Canoe, he reminded me, or told me that he'd written our episode of Soldier Soldier. And so we then got talking about what I just talked about with the whole Stonewall thing. And so it's really nice to hook up and to work with him and befriend him. And I sent him a screen grab recently of a repeat fee. You get repeat fees when you do TV, and sometimes it can be quite a few quid, or sometimes it can be pennies from a screening in Malaysia. And I had a repeat fee for, I'll see if I can find it, for I think 5p. And I sent him a screen grab of that saying, the job that just keeps giving. It was just, I tell you, it was a great job. And there's lots of reasons why I remember it. Not just because making friends on the show, but working with Peter Firth. One of the first plays I ever did was Equus. And of course he created the role of Alan Strang in Equus and did the movie. And so I was just bombarding him with questions. And we laughed a lot. I believe Jerome Flynn's character left in that episode. So there was quite a lot of emotion going around. But here's the thing. The week that we were filming, or the weeks that we were filming down mainly in Aldershot, Robson and Jerome were about to go to #1. It was their Sunday, and it's when the charts really mattered, and it was quite a really massive thing about going in at number one. I think they went straight in at number one. And so there was a whole party atmosphere, and there was a whole kind of celebration vibe that this amazing thing was happening with these two really cool guys and wonderful actors. So I have a lot of memories of parties, and they're going to go to number one, and they're going to be number one, and sitting in a hotel talking about different tracks that they could sing and stuff. And it was a real vibe. It was a buzz. It was a buzz because that was happening that very week. Oh, I remember a huge debate because we were wearing that khaki greens, and Peter Firth's green was a slightly different shade, and I wasn't very happy about that. No, I remember being in makeup for a very long time because Corporal Clark got beaten up, like I said, and so we had a lot of makeup, and really brilliantly done. And I think I had 2 or 3 scenes in the hospital, and I had bruises on, and blood, and cuts and bruises. So I do remember doing that. I think it was the first time I'd had that on TV, that kind of prosthetics and makeup. It was very impressive. Well, I mean, it was quite a thing being in it. It was a massively popular show. So for me, working with, a hero, a boyhood hero, as I say, it was Jerome's last episode, so there was a big leaving party, and this thing that they were about to go to number one was just, really cool, and just like life changing for them, because they had no idea they were going to be transported into this stratosphere of pop stardom, and deservedly so. Couldn't happen to nicer guys. So I remember that, and then it was only when it was broadcast, I think I was back in a cardiac wrestle, back into another TV series, and all this kind of attention of that episode came about because of what was happening with Stonewall and the army and people like my friend Ed. What do I do now? Well, I'm still an actor. I mean, what year was that, Soldier? 1995. I mean, after that, I continued in drama for quite a while and a lot of theatre, and then I joined the cast of The Bill for 7 or 8 years. Went to Coronation Street, always get my hand in with theatre, and do a lot of theatre now. And recently I've done TV shows like Casualty and Marcella and Canoe and Unforgotten. And Unforgotten may or may not be happening again, should we say. And I'm currently on stage at Hampstead, and I do a lot of theatre and do a lot of stage, and I'll be doing a lot more stage and telly in the coming months, I'm very pleased to say. But I live in the north with my family, and so I try to get back as much as possible. But Soldier is a good memory, it's a good memory, it's a good show, and I always thought it's so timely to bring it back now, with what's happening abroad, and Ukraine and Afghanistan, and those guys could still be out there, and yeah, I'd like to see it. You never know, but people are always looking at bringing TV shows back from back in the day, and we get it almost every single day. I think every day of my life, someone will say to me, "When's the Bill coming back?" So I'm sure that Robson and Jerome and Ben, I do have something else to share with you. Actually, is that I have worked a lot since in the last few years with Ben Nealon. We've become very, very good friends, and we've toured, I think, I don't know, I've really lost count. We've done hundreds of shows together, and we speak almost every week. We were going to be, he came to see my play the other week, and we do remember working together in Soldier. He's a wonderful actor and a smashing fella. And have you interviewed him for this? I'm sure he'll do it. Ben will do it. Ben, you've got to do it, all right? My pleasure, mate, and what a great thing you're doing. It's fab. It's good to remember shows that made a difference, isn't it?